come later on, but not today, I don't think. Maybe for tomorrow's video. But today, I just need to get some TLC work done for some models. So, get this plastic sorted out. Just trying to think of how to do it. This one might work. Okay. I didn't expect the trailer of that on that wagon was that brittle. It's a good little hole to put it into. Oops. Apparently. Just drops everything into a hole on the floor in the process. What a lovely evening. Yeah, to be fair, you don't really get that often when you get out. Poke my finger with the drill. Empty. Right, so that's in. You know, it's difficult trying to get the damping in. It works. So the hole's there. We just need to widen it a little bit. I'm going to put it down, just sort of feel for it. And I don't want to break all the way through because obviously that hole's got to be used for, well, it's got to be used for a certain section for the join for the couplings on the two train, well, one for the carriage and one for the dummy car for the Pendolino. They should be easy to make. I know Hornby make these and, well, they make it at the factory a lot of the time. Where they come from, so just gonna wiggle this thing around a little bit and see if I can be able to get a, a good shot of this. And I've got to be careful at this point because the solder, my solder, is very, very hot. Played some fever on voluntary, by the way, some years back. I haven't been to voluntary for a while, but I mean, this whole looks kind of good. I know it sounds a bit dodgy, I know. Because a lot of people think it's dodgy minded, but in the end, it's not actually that bad to think about it, because you're basically using it as a connecting piece for your model train to connect to the other units. Which, to be fair, one of these train models are been stuck in via glue, so within luck. That's just like trouble. I thought it would be easy, but I realised being it's the angle the pendulum you need to go at, it's on its side. So I'm going to have to put this thing on its side, which is slightly frustrating. Back to group 1. It needs to be Like that? Yeah, so it needs to be like that. I actually work better this way. On tool. So it's soldering doing the trick. Take 2. If you wonder how hot soldering iron can be, they're lethally hot. That's why they melt the metal metallics when they're joining a connection to another unit. Because when you're doing a pair with a solder with some metal, this thing gets really hot and it eventually breaks down the metal opponent from it. That's why soldering irons are very hot. Aha! You've got action. Perfect. Ooh, that's a bit fragile. Make sure to leave that dry. So the first connection we're gonna have to connect it to first before we can test it. It's quite warm. It's quite warm today, full stop actually. Quite muggy. So we need to connect that to the other unit. And the great tester to connect that right now is this coupling. See if it actually works. It might look a bit odd, but no. The connection on it's not quite wide enough. It's a little bit wider. So you've just got to push it through, and this is the tricky part. Try not to let your fingers get burned off by it, because soldering irons do that. Literally, it will burn your skin off if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Because I have been burnt a few times with soldering irons in the past, and partly my fault because obviously first time I used soldering iron I was at school. That seemed to hold on fairly well. I close it in a little bit to make it more to what it does. Yeah, let's close that in a little bit because that might help to counter the issue.